And is there someone here from 972 Saratoga that would like to present?
I am. This is Claudia Sierra.
Claudia, the floor is yours. You can share your screen if you like, if you have a presentation or whatever is easy for you.
I do not have a presentation. This is a little bit brief. I am actually representing the owner of La Fonda at 972 Saratoga Street. They do not speak English, so I will be presenting for them. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. La Fonda has been in operation since spring of last year. I just want to clarify that this is not El Kiosco. It's a complete new ownership, new name, new corporation, new licenses. And they have been in operation since spring of last year and have had temporary permits for live entertainment on a weekly basis since the summer of last year without any issues. They are seeking a permanent entertainment license for their business. They have, since they purchased the place, they have worked with a sound specialist to identify if there is any issues with the sound. I know that on the abutters meeting, one of the abutters mentioned that there had been a little bit of an issue with some of the beats potentially being a little bit too loud. But other than that, there was no opposition on the abutters meetings. Jorge, which is the owner at this time, has purchased a soundproofing equipment and has been installed. And they've also replaced the doors and have done some upgrades to the place in order to be in compliance with the noise. Again, the abutters meetings was pretty much without opposition, and they hope to obtain your approval vote so they can move forward to the city hearing. And that's about it.
Just to be clear, you guys are just seeking a license for entertainment, a permanent
Correct.
license.
Live entertainment, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Gail, I see that your hand's up, so if you'd like to go ahead.
Yes, are the hours of operation getting discussed yet?
So the hours of operation are until 1 a.m. Monday through Friday. The business has been in operation for over a year. This is not a business that is going to open. The business has already been opened, and again has been operated under temporary licenses since the summer of last year.
Is that live music that's going to operate until 1 o'clock in the morning?
No. So live entertainment is anything that is either DJ, karaoke, or if they have, like an artist come in for a special event. Sometimes for some of the businesses for Mother's Day or different occasions will have an artist, whether it is a violin player or a solo singer. But they're not looking to have live artists every day. They're pretty much just looking to have a DJ. And it's not every day. It is usually what they do is they do it on the weekend. The licenses they have had have been Friday through Sunday. And right now they have temporary licenses for karaoke on Wednesdays.
I think she just kind of answered that. I think from my understanding, it goes until 1 o'clock in the morning, and that could be a DJ, that could be karaoke, that could be any kind of live music until 1 a.m. in the morning. Yeah,
the music does not go until 1 a.m. It shuts down around 12:40, 12:45.
So last call.
Yes.
Yeah. So effectively 1. My question is around, and I live up in Montmorency, so I'm actually not a direct abutter, but I live in the neighborhood. What is the owner going to do in terms of being able to just regulate and make sure the decibel readings are not absorbent? So obviously if a DJ comes in and the DJ pumps up the bass a little louder than normal, I mean, what's going to how are they going to know that they're being a little too loud or, you know, I guess being under loud, I guess to, you know, to bump it up? Are they going to have some kind of device to measure how many decibels the output is?
They
Or?
do have a device that measures the decibels of the sound. And again, they've been operating since last summer on temporary permits without any issues. So nothing, this is nothing different that what they've already been doing.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure that they have a device to actually measure the sound myself. That's all I really care about.
I understand, yes. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't see anything else in the chat. So I guess if that is it, it doesn't seem like there's too many people seeming opposed to this. So Claudia, I'll send you an email. We'll have you just present quickly again at our monthly meeting. I think that's June 20th.
Okay.
And we'll give you a vote at that time.
Perfect.
Okay.
I will step out of the meeting. I'm in Washington, D.C. in another meeting. So I just stepped out to present this today. So I apologize that I don't stay for the entire meeting. I do have another.
No problem.
Right now. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, before you guys all are done with this, nice to meet you. My name is Sebastian. I'm the son of Jorge, the owner.
Hi, Mr. Jorge.
I'm here translating for him. Basically, what he wants to say is that he's open to work close with the community, and we've been working together and hard to make it the recommendations that we had in the last meeting, to soundproofing and everything. And then, yes, we hope that we can count with you for the vote. Basically, we've been working with this license. What we're looking just is that instead of asking for those permits weekly, have a permanent. And so far, like this whole year that we've been working with these temporary permits, we've been working good. We've been working fine. No issues, thanks God. We've been closing, we've been working with the East Boston Police very closely as well. So we just wanted to say hi and thank you everyone for being here.
I will thank you for that. And we'll have you guys present at the June 20th meeting, and the OHNC will give you a vote at that time.
Thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and move on. Is someone here? I believe it's Derek from 100 to Beachview.
Yes, I'm here.
Do you have, you can share your screen if you have a presentation.
I do.
Okay, it's all yours.
All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is Derek Small, and I am a zoning attorney here in Boston. I'm here today to present a proposed development project at 100-102 Beachview Road. And we're seeking to erect a new two-family dwelling on a vacant lot. You can see the picture here of the site. It's at the corner of Drumlin and Beachview. What I'm showing now is the site plan. There is a current curb cut that is used by both 96 Beachview and will be used by 100 Beachview. The rear and the curb cut is off of Drumlin. It already exists now. And this is, again, the site plan for proposal. The zoning sub-district here is a 1F 5,000.
You Road, East Boston.
And this site, this lot is approximately 4,978 square feet, approximately 5,000 square feet. Units, there are 2 units side by side, so it's duplex. 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and approximately 1,600 square feet apiece. There are 2 parking spaces for each unit within the property. So there'll be garage parking for 2 cars in each unit, as I'm showing here. The first floor or the second level will be the kitchen and the dining area. On the next level, there are 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. These are the elevations from the front and from the rear. From the front, you can see that we are going to a height of 34 feet 7 inches, which is below the height requirement of 35 feet in this zoning subdistrict. In the rear, you can see the 2 garage doors for each unit, which will encompass the 2 vehicles for each of the units. Here's a side elevation from the left side, Summerlin Street. Again, you can see it is the height of the building is 34 7 inches. And this is the right side elevation from the neighboring property at 96. We do have a couple of zoning violations that we will be going to the Zoning Board of Appeals for to seek relief. One being the lot width, lot frontage. Requirement for lot width, lot frontage is 50 feet. We are proposing 40 feet. Building height. Building height is, the requirement is 35 feet, 2.5 stories. We are at 34 feet 7 inches, but we are at 3 stories. So that's why we're being cited at 3 stories because it's a 2.5 story zone. Front yard requirement is 15 feet. We are proposing a modal setting where we will line up front of the building with the existing building next to it at 96 Beachview and the other houses down at 94 and 92. Side yard setback requirement is 12 feet. And on the left side of the property between 100 and 96, it will be approximately 5 feet. Rear yard setback, again, the rear yard requirement is 40 feet. We are proposing 29.5 feet in the rear of the property. Again, we will have 2 off-street parking spots for each unit. So we are meeting the parking requirements for the site. Trying to think what else? That's it. You can open it up and take any questions that folks may have with regard to the development proposal for 100.
Okay, looks like Gail wrote a comment, or Gail, do you want to just speak? I see your hand up. Or Sean, why don't you go ahead? I see your hands up as well.
Okay, all right, I'll wait.
Go ahead, Gil. Go ahead, Gil.
Okay, all right, so Derek Small, we started out on this project, as I just wrote, it's a forbidden use. For all intents and purposes, you're going to go to the zoning board to try to get these variances.
That is correct.
So
That is correct.
it should be kind of a non-starter in the view of the abutters, but Lorraine has been trying to get on and she tells me she can't get through to the link. So I guess in essence, I'm speaking for her and the neighborhood, of course, but so I don't know. I think this makes it a moot point. That's all I want to say, because discussing variances for something that's already forbidden is, like I said, a non-starter. So if you want to speak to that.
Sure. So again, as I said, the zoning sub-district here is a 1F 5,000. We are proposing a 2-family. That makes it a forbidden use. And that's where we will go to the board to seek relief in the form of a variance with regard to that. So it's a 1F 5,000 zoning subdistrict, and we are proposing a 2-family. A 2-family is a forbidden use in a 1F zone.
I'll just give a quick comment. So yeah, I mentioned earlier, I live in Montmorency, not too far from your area. I personally just hate seeing 2 families in general come to the neighborhood. Just to give you my feedback, this is a neighborhood full of single family homes, and I just don't think you get that in the city very much. I think that's one of the wonderful things about our neighborhood is that you do have a lot of single family homes. So I would personally like to respect. I know that there already is an existing 2-family on the property, but I think, adding another 2-family into the neighborhood changes that fabric. And I personally just don't really want to support that myself. I would just love to see the plans change. And I know that's tough to ask because you obviously want to make money on that property, but that's to me just something I just don't really want to see. The second thing is I will just comment. I do appreciate having parking. I think that is nice that you guys did that. So I will say a positive thing there. And then the last thing, and this is, I guess maybe if you already said it, then I apologize, but is this rentals or are these condos?
These will be condominiums, home ownership.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's at least good to see. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from anybody?
And just a note, we did have an abutters meeting sponsored by the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services on May 10th, where a number of abutters showed up. I know, as I think Gail may have mentioned, that our closest abutter is Lorraine Orlando, and I know that she is opposed to it.
Yeah. Is she able to come on to ask questions? I'd love for her to kind of be able to give feedback on it, especially being in a butter. Gail, do you know if she's able to connect?
I don't know why she can't get on. I'll speak for her. She had just called me to say that she can't get on. I don't know why. I spoke with her earlier this afternoon. The abutters, I think I can safely speak for the abutters. None of the abutters want to see this project as it's proposed. And that's kind of where it stands. So it's going to change the whole character of that whole corner. And part of I think the iPod or section 53 of the zoning code says you have to kind of preserve the character of the neighborhood as much as possible. So this is not going to maintain the character of the neighborhood. You're going to really kind of chop it up there and squeeze a 2-family or attempt to squeeze a 2-family in a corner lot. And if you pay attention to the variances being sought, they kind of abuse the zoning code. So at large. So, you're looking for double what is allowed. If it's going to be allowed at all. So I think there's an issue with the whole proposal at large. It's not a hardship at all. It's, these property owners bought the lot as is with the existing 2-family, just hoping to maximize the investment. So, it's not really a hardship here that we ordinarily would entertain.
And from the abutters meeting, excuse me,
I was at the abutters meeting.
were there any changes that from the abutters meeting to today's presentation?
None
I
at
don't
all.
believe so.
None at all. None at all. None at all.
And okay. So, I mean, well, based on what you heard from the abutters, is there proposed changes that will happen?
I don't think that from the abutters meeting, I think there's just a staunch opposition to anything being built there. I don't think that it would matter what it was, but that's the sense that I get from the meetings. And, you know, this project has been kicking around now for over a year. So there were meetings prior to the abutters meeting as well with regard to this project, because about a year and a half ago, there was a proposal to put a 4-story building there. So it has come down from the original drawings, but at the last 2 abutters meetings, this is what was proposed. And I think that a number of the neighbors, like the direct abutters, just don't want to say anything. That's where we are.
So I guess in terms of, I don't think there's any more comments necessarily that I see. I guess and the next steps for projects here would be to go to our monthly meeting.
That's right.
Unless there was some other changes you guys were gonna make. But you can come to the meeting and present again and go for a vote.
That's fine.
Okay.
Is there an actual, like, I guess, are there any kind of more visuals of the building itself? Not the existing one, but the one that you're proposing, other than kind of the plans that we're seeing here.
I didn't hear that. It's a vacant lot right now.
No, I know, but what you're planning on building is what I'm more interested
I think
in.
he's looking for some architectural renderings.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. I've seen it a lot of, mostly like I used to live in Eagle Hill, and constantly I see Jeff Drago on the call. Him and Richie Lynn show up with more context for the people that live here. Right?
Sure.
So
I can have, I'll put my information in the chat, and if you email me, I can have the architects at Chu and Company send it over.
well, I guess what I'm looking for is that to be presented at the general meeting for, you know, the audience, right? I don't want to be the only ones to see it. I think the whole neighborhood that lives here should be able to see that.
Sure, I can forward it to
Well, I guess
Noah
what I'm
and
saying,
the folks
include
at
that-
the Orion Heights Neighborhood Council. I can forward it to the Neighborhood Council.
well, I
No
guess what I'm
problem.
saying is, like, include that in your presentation so that way people can see it.
Sure. We can forward it to the Neighborhood Council and they can, that's fine.
Yeah, if you could forward it to us, that'd be great. And then when you present next time, if we can also just see them or as well. I think that's kind of what Sean's getting at.
Yep.
I'm here. So, well, I will, unless anybody else has any comments here, I will put you guys on the agenda for the, I believe it's June 20th. I got to double check it. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Oh.
Sounds good.
Gail, do you have your hand raised?
Yeah, what I find is missing in all these presentations, and drawings and all that, what they don't show is the, existing views of the neighborhood. And if that can be provided with real pictures as opposed to sort of computerized photos of, what's there, that would put this whole project in context, because they might as well be putting up a skyscraper on the site for the impact that it's going to have. So.
Understood, and I will work with the architect to get those images and then get them over to OHNC as soon as possible.
Well, thank you, Derek. And I guess we'll move on to our last project for the day.
All right, thank you, guys. Thanks for the time.
Yep. Someone from 5 Breed Street here to speak.
Yes, that would be me, Jeff Drake.
Floor is yours. You can share your screen if you'd like.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna pull it up right now. A minute. Can you see that okay? I'll make it full view. Can you guys see that? If you could give me like a thumbs up or something. Thank you.
Yeah, we got
Great. Thanks so much. Again, Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano. We represent the owner developer of a proposed project at 5 Breed Street. That is Melissa Navaco, and her contractor is also on the call, Tom Falcucci, to answer any questions that folks have after the presentation. Just by way of background, this is a proposed project at 5 Breed Street. in East Boston, up in Orient Heights area. We took a pause on the community process. There was a cloud in the title, which we had to fix. So some of you may have remembered this came before a couple of meetings at Orient Heights, and we had some abutter meetings. We actually took feedback based on those meetings and made adjustments to the projects in that time as well. We have a 4-unit development condominium complex proposed in an area that has a mix of housing, but there is multifamily residential all around us. The building right to the right of us has mixed use. It has 6 condos and 2 commercial spaces. To the left of us is a 3-unit, across the street 4 to 6. And we're going to show you some pictures. This is a vacant parcel. It has a deep curb cut now, which we're going to restore, which will put a parking space back on the street. The architect on the project is also on the phone. Eric Zackerson from Context is here as well. Many of you have seen Eric. And so I'm going to run through the presentation now. So we're seeking to erect, obviously, a new building. This would be slab on grade, so there's no excavating under, and small foundation, but no basement, so right on grade. This particular zoning district is a neighborhood shopping district. There are, as you can tell, by a number of restaurants and cannabis facility that's been approved and shops around us, but there's also MFR behind us, across from us, to the right of us, to the left of us, in and around the area. So we felt because this is a great commuter spot, we're right next door to the T station, this would be a perfect condominium project. The lot size is 2,405 square feet. This is just a BPDA context map. So obviously this pink area shows the lot, and you can see just the contours of that lot. It abuts Breed Street, and then around the corner is Bennington Street. And so this is just an aerial view, and I'm going to show a number of site pictures too, just for point of reference. So our lot, 5A Breed right here, next door to us is a 3-family. To the right of that is a 3-family. Across the street is a commercial multifamily residential building right on the corner. So it has multiple units as well as commercial space. Directly across the street is a 4 to 6 unit building. There's also a commercial space next to that. There's a 4-story, elevated 4-story, almost 5-story building on the corner. That's mixed use apartments as well as commercial space. Directly next door to us is the new project that was built. That's an 8-unit project. And even though we're proposing 4 stories, because of the grade change, we're only a few feet taller, if that, to the building to the right of us. Directly behind us, our direct abutter, is also a 4 to 6 unit building and a commercial space. And then our diagonal abutter in the rear is a 3-family. One of the things we did do with this project is based on feedback from our rear abutters. We have no patios in the rear, no roof deck in the back. We've pulled the building in, so we've got a 20-foot rear setback to our rear property abutters. And just to point out, our abutter in the rear, our direct rear abutter, we have a letter of support which we can submit to the group. We have a letter of support from the restaurant and owner of the building directly to the right of us, and a letter of support to the building directly to the left of us. One of those folks is a relative, but it is still our direct abutter. I know that came up in another meeting. Just moving on, just for some pictures and site pictures, so you can see sort of the size of our 2 neighboring buildings. You can see the commercial buildings across the street. They're 1-story. You see the mixed use, you see the 3-family next to us, and that just shows you the curb cut that's been existing, which we're going to restore, and that's our parcel. This is looking down the street, so you can see those 2 brick buildings. This one is the newer one, and then you see the larger building on the corner and sort of the mix of housing stock. That is looking directly at the lot. So the lot as it stands is this whole area right here. So you can see it's all just cement and hot top. Part of our plan for that 20-foot buffering is to have all green space, privacy fence, trees in the back, all of that just to have that for both the neighbors as well as the condo owners of the building to have that green space. We only are seeking 3 variances from the Board of Appeal. One is for floor to area ratio, we're at 2.1. One is what's allowed. Our height in feet is 42 feet, 6 inches. What's allowed is 35. As I had mentioned, the grade does change, so we're very close to the building right next to us on the right. And we need parking because there is no way this lot is just conformed to fit parking. But again, we're close to the T. And one thing we also had committed to is to notify the transportation department to not give out resident stickers to the condo owners of this building, which they've been doing in other projects around the city, just to help, because we know always parking is an issue for residents. And again, this is just more pictures of what's around us. So this is a 3-unit building to the left of us that I mentioned. We do have the letter of support. Across the street, this is 4 to 6 unit building. That's the corner building. So the large, it's almost, you know, an elevated 4-story, a lot higher than our building. That's the corner building. So that's an elevated 3. And we also have the owner's support in that building. That's the corner building, which is a 3-story mixed use. That's an elevated 3, but it is a 3 residential with commercial zone. That's our rear abutter, 4 to 6 unit building that we have support as well. This is just our plot plan, so you can just see the contours of the building itself. Now we get into the unit layout. So these are all 3-bed, 2-bath, so you know, decent size units, not huge, but family size units. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's 1,155 square foot. So again, this is slab on grade, so there's no basement level or anything like that. This is right at the ground level, unit 1. Unit 2 would be an 1,140 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And then we go up to units 3 and 4. So those are both bi-level units. So unit 3 is 1,120 square feet, and unit 4 is 1,140 square feet, and those are also 3-bed, 2-bath. Sorry, yeah. Those are just the upper levels. As I had mentioned, no roof deck on the building. We tried to keep a very traditional design with the bump outs. And sort of the exterior design that we came up with. There's no rear patios. This building will be completely sprinklered. These are just side and rear elevations to the building. And that's just the final rendering. We committed to do some street trees, front planting. So all of this area around it will now be green space where it's just hot top now. There'll be sidewalks put in, curb cut replaced, and a yard space in the back. Thank you. We can answer any questions that folks have.
Are there any questions from anybody? Or anything in the chat?
Hi, Michael Underwood, Bennington Street, around the corner.
Go ahead.
Oh, hi. Looking at the blueprints, well, could you just tell me how far that setback is? Because it's
Sure.
the blueprint looks a little deeper in than the computer graphic rendering.
Yeah, so it's a 20-foot rear setback from our building to the property lines in the rear.
No, what I mean is the 4th level setback from the bay window.
Oh, it's 7 feet pulled back from the ridge.
From the bay.
From the ridge, yeah. So from right here, it's pulled back 7 feet.
Okay, so to the right then is more or less flush with the front facade.
Eric, I don't know. Before I know Eric Zackerson's on. He might be better suited to answer that since he designed it.
I can look at it in a second. Sorry, I got stuck in the middle of something. The question is, how far back is the bay window from the?
No.
How far deep is the bay?
So the front pullback right here, if you look at it, Eric.
Yeah.
The gentleman wants to know how far is it pulled back from the bay bump outs And then from where just the bay doesn't bump out, so just the regular line, is there a difference?
Oh, so the bay itself is 3 feet deep. I believe the building is set back, the fourth floor set back from the edge of the bay.
So 7 feet from the bay?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
So that would mean it's 3 from the other side of the bay. That would be what, 2 feet, 3 feet?
Yeah.
So probably about 3 feet from the area that's not bumped out.
Okay, another question. Are those the colors that you plan to go with?
We're open, obviously, so this was just something we thought looked okay, but if folks wanted to see a different color, this is also, if it was to be approved, would have to go through full BPDA design review to go over the exterior treatment, so, but we would be open to suggestions.
Well, I have no problem with the color. In fact, I like it. I think it's a lighter area, airy looking as opposed to a harsher tone. One more question. So the cutout is going to be replaced with a parking spot, but is that commercial parking? In other words, 2-hour limit even for residents? Do you know what the situation is with that?
I don't know every spot, but I know there is resident parking all around that area. In front of this building, there's not commercial. In front of this lot, there's not commercial.
So across the street from it, it is. I mean, it's like a 2-hour.
I believe there is mixed. Yeah, I believe there's some, but there's also resident parking in the area as well.
I see. Okay. Well, anyway, I like the color. I'm finished. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that from going towards Bennington Street there, I think it's 2-hour resident parking. So anybody can park there for 2 hours and then resident are exempt. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Mary, I think you had your hand up first. So you want to go ahead? If you want to unmute, Mary.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here with Mary. Both of us are the abutters in the back. I have to say, Mr. Drago pointed out that the abutter on the left is related. I also want to point out, I want to make it clarified that 1024, the rear abutter, is the gentleman who sold that property and is in favor of it. Just wanted to make that, put that out there. All right, transparency. He didn't mention that. All right. I would like to know, you mentioned that you made changes. Originally, how much footage was there in the back? You said you increased that footage.
Yeah, it was about 15 feet.
Okay, so you increased it by 5
Yeah.
feet. Okay.
Yeah.
My concern is, and I brought this to your attention, that you say about the stickers. I would like that in writing. I
Sure.
mean,
Sure.
I would like that because right now you have 6 units above the restaurant and you're adding 4 more. So that's 10 in a very, very congested area. That street is blocked by double parking. You can't get by. All right. You try and park on Bennington. I have pictures. I've taken them many times. Breed, Antrim. You've heard this before, Jeff.
Yep.
Breed, Antrim, Ashley, and now even Ford, you can't, if you drive around, you can't find space on Ford. So, I mean, you people keep pushing the fact that we're near the T, we're near the T. You cannot guarantee that people moving in will not have a car. So therefore, you have to guarantee that, no, they won't get a sticker. All right? That's the thing. And you say you push the front back, but you didn't push, I mean, the back height is still 4 stories. There's only 1 4-story building at the con. Well, now you've got 2 because of the new project. The rest of the buildings are 1, 2, and 3 stories, the rest of the street. They make, you say units, you go by units, but I'm going by height. When I come out, when I look out my back, that's going to be 4 stories. There's only 2 other 4-story buildings there. Oh, actually one, I guess. It's just the one to the right, on the right-hand side of Bree. So you say you keep putting on the pictures 4 and 6 units, but I'm talking about the height. The height is higher than the rest of the buildings, except for that one building. So I like that clarified. All right. I asked about the water runoff. I was told that the engineers were going to make sure that that's taken care of. Well, I hope so, because the building beside it, the new development, I don't know why he has water coming outside of his building when it rains. So, I mean, I would think that he would have had to go through the same thing. So, I mean, it pitches down, and it's got to be made sure that the runoff water is not, I mean, it's just better not start coming across into the butter and then into my yard. I have enough issues with water when it rains. All right. I told you, I like the building, but I don't agree to the top unit. I just don't agree with that. If that was to be eliminated, I would be more than willing to accept the project.
Okay, let me try to answer a few of the questions. So thank you for the comments. So, and again, we've met and discussed some of this in the past. Just to be, because I just want to show for context. So we actually specifically took, there's no decks in the back because of Mary's property in the rear. She's diagonal from us in the back, so that's the 3-family here. And then our direct rear butter, who she did mention, sold the property. That is true, but that is our direct rear abutter, and we do have our left and right abutter written support. So whether it's related, whether it's someone that supports the project, whether an absentee landlord, they are still our direct abutters who own the facility. You mentioned the drainage issue. One of the things, so right now this lot is just an empty parcel with hot top. So any rain, anything like that, there's no permeable surface, there's no grass area, there's nothing. So that drainage would roll back and would pool now more than what we're proposing. So what we're going to be asked by the city to put in is a full drainage catch basin system. Our engineers will design that, and it has to be approved by Boston Water and Sewer and then connected into the street. Right now, there's nothing here, so that can just roll back. The second issue is we're putting in grass. So front and rear of 20 feet, all of that grass area will also absorb water, which stone and hot top doesn't do right now. And secondly, we're going to be planting trees and buffering the back. So I know you mentioned your view. Our building is about 100 feet away from your building. And even though the building next to us on the right is 3, it's an elevated 3. So we're about 2 feet higher than the building to the right. And we're about 100 feet away from your building in the rear. I will put that in writing for the resident sticker. That's fine. I've done it on other projects around the city. No problem doing that. This is close to the T, and folks that buy that, it would just be folks that know that, they're not bringing a car, or if they are, they're paying for someone to store it for a parking garage. I have no problem putting that in writing at all and mentioning it at the Zoning Board of Appeal. And then we are, just to point out, restoring 1 spot in front. So there will be 1 more resident or off-street parking spot created. I know that doesn't answer all the world's problems on parking, but this project does allow to put 1 spot back. So
Does the city actually enforce that parking request that you put in? Because I've never heard or understand how they would even be able to enforce that.
they do, but it has to be something committed to and then given to the transportation department. And when those records come in for this particular address, they're not given out. It's something they're doing across the city right now.
Mike, you've been patient. Would you like to go ahead? I see your hands up.
Yeah, hi. So I own 14 and 16 directly across the street. And actually, the only way I found out about this was I found a flyer going down blowing down the street. But as far as the parking, if it's my understanding and I'm correct, the side where that building is 2-hour parking. On the side of the street where my building is, it's 2-hour parking or residential sticker. And the 2 immediate, it's basically almost 2 spots that for in front of the White House going down towards the end of Breed Street, those are handicap spots. And then I believe in front of that, there may be one spot, maybe two, and then there's 15-minute parking for the dry cleaners. So that's kind of it's kind of a limited parking as it is right now. And I was at the abutters meeting last night, and I voiced the concerns that I have. So hopefully at some point, Jeff and I can
Absolutely.
get together and talk about it and you know,
Sure.
work out our differences. I'm definitely not opposed to it. But there's some tweaking that we need to do.
And one of the things I know, sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
No, one of the things that Mike brought up was just construction sort of fatigue for the area. They were digging up streets for gas lines, utility lines, and he runs businesses across the street, and you know, it's affected business. So we want to talk about a plan, a construction management plan that is the least impactful on the local business and residents, where we can work certain hours and work with the neighbors. If we did have something, obviously we always call for police details, but you know, committing not to shut down the street, committing to do things, you know, on an off hour or non-business hour, or stuff that's least impactful. The other point, just to note out, that I mentioned, we're not blasting, we're not digging out large foundations, which take up, you know, like things like cement trucks and sort of excavation materials. This is slab on grade. So most of the work is going to be built, stick build, interior. Once that framing's up, everything will be inside.
I would imagine we'll have dumpsters though and stuff in the street at the time of construction.
No, it would be one dumpster, Mike, and it could go
Yeah.
right in front of where that sort of parking curb cut
Yep.
is now until it's restored.
Yeah. Like I say, you know my concerns, so we'll
Yep.
talk about it. But I believe that's the parking situation over there.
Okay.
I think on my side is resident or the 2 hour, and on your side is the 2 hour.
Okay.
If I think that's how it goes.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Are there any other comments for the project? And Jeff, are you looking to present at our next meeting for a vote?
Yes.
Is there anybody here who thinks they need to appear before us again? All right, no one's saying anything, so I think it's fine for you guys to come to the next meeting, present to the group, and we'll give you a vote there.
Great. Thanks so much, everyone.
Any final comments, questions by anybody regarding anything? Okay, well, I will go ahead and end the meeting. Thanks so much. And I will see most of you at the June Orient Heights meeting. Have a pleasant evening.